Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode of Absolute Intense Wrestling's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am joined by AIW owner John Thorne. What is up, Thorne?
Working it in the holiday season here.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the different holidays, Festivus, Kwanzaa. What am I missing there?
Birthdays. We both had birthdays.
Yeah.
I mean, just a lot going on. December is a very hectic month for sure. And it seemed like it was like such a condensed holiday season with Thanksgiving being so late. Everything was just so quick.
Yeah, you guys, you and old Duke took a little field trip too. You guys got out of town for a little bit, so there was a lot packed into these last couple weeks. We've been doing a lot of things.
It's a business trip. There was a business trip to Las Vegas, Nevada, to talk some business out there. That's all I'll say.
Good time had by all, I'm assuming.
Well, one of us had a good time.
Did you ever get that steak? I meant to ask you. You were talking about getting that steak out there in Vegas. Did you ever get one?
Oh yeah, $80 steak. Got an $80 steak out there. So, needless to say, I'm gonna need a good walk up on Saturday.
So yeah, that is what we're doing here. We are show week.
We're talking business though, so I think according to my tax guy, I think I could put that on the expense reports.
Yeah. I mean, you were telling me there was definitely some booking stuff going on while out there.
Some business discussions going on in Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, what better play? It's the best place for it. You know what I mean? That's where the business gets done.
Well, maybe a little, maybe not. We'll see. To be determined, but
Yeah. But yeah, we are bringing Terror at the Tadmor to the Tadmor Shrine this Saturday, December 28th. I'm very excited for this show. You just sent me the official Dropbox kind of thing with all the graphics and the lineup for the night, the card. And we talk a lot on this podcast, do a lot of back patting and
sent it to you. I should have sent it to Johnny Compton, apparently, according to Instagram.
Oh no! Yeah, I saw that. He was a little upset. But we talk a lot about these cards and putting together these cards in our roster and how great it is. And this card, man, holy crap! I was just looking at up and down the graphics and how are you going to pace this one, because every match on this card at Terror at the Tadmor is absolutely fire in my opinion. Like I don't know how you're gonna pace this one personally.
I don't know either. I haven't thought about the match placement at all yet, to be honest. I don't know. I know what's going last because the setup is going to probably be extensive.
Yeah.
But I other than that, I really don't know how I'm going to pace it, where I'm going to put things. If I'm going to go straight through and hold intermission until right before the main event.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I'm probably going to have to kind of, get in the lab here and, mess around with different scenarios to see what sticks. But I think it's a very strong card. I know that we were talking about, we were going to get back on a consistent podcasting schedule. It was so hard coming out of Hell on Earth, and then with the holidays and everything, and the birthday trip, and you had a birthday in there, and then everything else is just it was very difficult, but I do feel very organized heading into 2025. I think that we have at least a target and a path, to an objective to get to. And I guess because a lot of people have been kind of freaking out over a statement that I made on my personal Facebook.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll clarify. I guess it was left up to interpretation, but I said 6 to go as far as to get to May 16th, which will be the 20th anniversary of AIW. And a lot of people are wondering if that means only 6 left, or what that, what that statement, are there only 6 more AIW shows? And my kind of stance right now is, it's never really changed in the fact that you got to get there. You know what I mean? Like any AIW show, I know some people think it's an exaggeration, but it's not. Any AIW show could be the last AIW show. The way, the crowds and the ticketing, it have fluctuated. The death of, the streaming deal, trying to build this new YouTube thing up, which is, slow, obviously, and less money and a big risk. There's tons of financial factors that, go into this whole thing. And the point of my statement is 6 more to go, as we gotta survive 6 to say that we've made it to 20 years. And that's kind of my, my target, my goal, my motivator right now is to, try to make these next 6 shows a success, to ensure that not only do we get to May 16th, but we put on the show May 16th and we complete the show May 16th, to say that we have made it, AIW has made it for 20 years. As of right now, we're not there yet. And, anything can happen over the next 5 months. So, I just have a goal in mind that, we have 6 to go to get, to that point. And once that 6th one is done, which is the May 16th event, once it's over, we can say that AIW has survived and made it 20 years. So, right now that's my sole focus, is just trying to make it to that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an accomplishment too, not to gloss over 20 years in this industry, doing it in the independents for 20 years is quite an accomplishment in my opinion.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I do feel like, I feel indifferent about that, honestly. To me, I think it'll be a great accomplishment. But then, at the same time, I feel like, 20 years, this should have gotten at least a little bit easier, or a little bit, a little bit more manageable. And I feel like it's always, some new obstacle or some new hurdle or some new, thing that we need to overcome. And it does get old, it is a lot to kind of navigate, a lot of personalities to navigate, a lot of, just different fires to kind of, try to handle. So, right now I just have a target, I want to make it to that point, to say that we made it to that point. And, from there, who knows? You know what I mean? We could go, we could end it right there. We could, go on, like I don't know how I'm going to feel, you know what I mean? But there's, we have a tentative schedule throughout 2025 beyond that. But, we always have a tentative schedule. But, if the money and the finances and all that stuff are telling you otherwise, they're telling you otherwise. You know what I mean? And, we've made no qualms about, the decline in, attendance and such as, in Akron, where we're at on Saturday. It's going to be the last one in Akron for quite some time. We're working on, now we have 2 new kind of home bases in the Cleveland area that we're working with in 2025. And you're probably going to see less Akron. You know what I mean? Unless there's some miraculous run on tickets by Saturday, which it doesn't look like as of now. It's going to be great. You know what I mean? Like you just got to kind of read the tea leaves on things and try to keep your head above water, and that's what we're doing. And I just have a target on that May 16th date. And, once we get there, or we get closer to it, I'll have a better idea. Are we going to Absolution? Are we going to Jail It? Are we going to Hell on Earth 20? You know what I mean? Like, 21, 22, all that stuff. You just don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be a long-term planner like that anymore, just based on how I've seen things drastically change, recently. Just business, the way the business as a whole, independent wrestling, it's changing dramatically, and it's changing quick, and it's difficult to, keep profitability and, keep break-even points and all that stuff. So, it's a fine line, right? So we're always pretty transparent about that on this podcast. So that's just kind of the point. That's kind of like the mentality behind, the post on my personal Facebook, which, people kind of took and ran with, and were very concerned about. It's just wrestlers, fans, there's a lot of people that were, are unsure, and it's just, it's things are really no different than they are. It's just, I have a target on that date. I really want to make it to 20 years. So these next 5 shows coming up, including Saturday, need to be successful. And then, that 6th show is that, 516 20th anniversary show. Once that's complete, I can say that AIW has existed for 20 years. And that's just kind of a, personal goal right now.
Yeah, and I mean, back to the, speaking on the Akron thing, and even speaking of, the card again, and talking about how great it is, it's definitely frustrating to see the attendance down in Akron, because it is a place, too, that the fans have said so many times that, the Akron venue is just such a great place. The free parking and the concessions, the cards are always great there. You get a great meet and greet at Akron, and it's got to be frustrating on your part, to put together these incredible cards, to come up with these great ideas for meet and greets, to get these guys in and, provide all, a great time. And then you see a slow decline in a place like Akron, and it's just a real head scratcher, so the obstacle of that has got to be, frustrating, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we reduced ticket prices for Saturday to see if that would kind of help push things. We were drawing consistent 500 there forever, and we've seen a huge drop off out of nowhere in the area. So we reduced ticket prices. I know there's more competition now in the area. We were kind of the only thing there for a while. Now there's other things within driving distance of that area, but we've lowered our ticket prices. We're trying to be competitive. You can get in for $15 on Saturday, general admission. We even lowered the front row. All the floor seating, all those prices were dropped. So we're gonna see what happens. We're not gonna be that's gonna be the last one there for 4 months, I think, at least. I have to check on that, but yeah, I don't think we're back there until the spring. So. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a while before we go back to Akron. It's a great building, like you said. Like everyone complains about the Cleveland venues, the real venues, the music venues, however you want to categorize them, but they always do very well. I don't know if it's just with it being Cleveland and being more centrally located or what. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean? We always seem to do well in those types of places. Speaking of which, January 17th at the Roxy, that is going to be super limited capacity. So, we're only doing 2 rows of seats there. So if you want a seat, I would suggest you get that. sooner than later. And then the GA is going to be super reduced. It's not going to be like this open, everyone can get in general admission, like there's capacity issues, so I'm just trying to get the word out on that as well.
Fair enough. To me, there's no comparison, especially in the talent pool wise. Especially speaking of this card, I don't even. You could start, I suppose, with the free view if you want to get into this card a little bit. But even as we've stated, the free view isn't going to be some just random dark match of guys that maybe need work anymore. And this match right here is a perfect example. You got Eric Taylor with the Duke versus Shaw Mason. That's a card you could see on a main event in any AIW show.
That's gonna be the YouTube free view. We're still kind of as we try to build our premium YouTube channel subscription. Our subscription model that's on our YouTube channel. That's going to be the free offering, and that's going to go out on all of our social media on Saturday. So you'll be able to catch that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Maybe TikTok. I have to check on TikTok, but you should be able to catch that everywhere. But yeah, that's these are two of our great young talents that are for people hate Eric Taylor. People really seem to be behind Shaw Mason. I think this is going to be a big test for Shaw, and equally a good test for Eric Taylor. You know what I mean? It's just I think this is a great kind of one of those great showcase type matches that you can put out there on the YouTube free view, and that's what we're trying to do with that as well. I know that we talked about it the last time we podcasted, but we're really trying to make that kind of a premium slot on the card as the YouTube free view spot. Yeah. To put something, it's not just going to be like here's a dark match, type thing of whoever versus whoever. We're really trying to, put some thought into, what matches are going in those spots. And I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, like you said, you can have people out there can have their opinions about Eric. They can hate him. He's kind of a polarizing figure in AIW, but the guy just seems to win. He gets the job done, and same can pretty much be said with Shaw Mason. They both just seem to find a way to grit out wins, and this is going to be a great match, in my opinion, to kind of set the tone for what this whole show is going to be. Terror at the Tadmor, every match on this card to me is going to be a barn burner, and this one in the free view slot I think is really solidifying.
Barn burner. That's an adjective. Barn burner.
But yeah, I think this one is really going to set the tone. I think this is a great one to really.
I think this is a really good card. I was really happy with how this whole card came together. I think it is. It's just proof. Like I said, there seems to be more competition popping up in Northeast Ohio than there was in prior years. But I think this card just shows how AIW just kind of sets itself apart from everything else that goes on around here. This card has a little bit of everything, and it has all sorts of different genres and types of wrestlers, and I was really happy with it. Like only you and I, and unfortunately not Johnny Compton, can see the drop box, but when you see it all kind of out there, you can look at all those matches, together. It really kind of paints a picture, of how just diverse and just strong this card is top to bottom.
Yeah, it really has, a little piece of something for everybody. We talked about this. This one got posted recently. This is going to be one to watch. I'm sure there's going to be a curtain sellout. We got Justice versus The Prize, Alec Price. Talk about two guys that are kind of really everywhere right now. That's going to be a huge match.
To my knowledge, I don't think they've ever had a singles match either. So, really looking forward to this one. I think these are just two of those top independent guys. not only in AIW but nationally. And this is just one of those matches that no championships, no kind of major stakes here. Just one of those classic independent wrestling bouts that you can kind of only see at like a melting pot indie like AIW is, where you get people from kind of all over. And I think that these guys are two of the very best, as far as what they offer, and the types of wrestlers they are. Justice is kind of an all-arounder. He's more leaned into the that hardcore kind of daredevil style, but he can go out there and he can have a great wrestling match as well. And I think Alec Price is again kind of how he wasn't one of these guys signed by the WWE is, I don't understand that at all. But I think he's probably the best unsigned talent by a mile on the independent wrestling scene as far as just overall in-ring ability. So I just think that this one has the potential for a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those ones. It's almost been said before about a different Justice match, but it's like, I just want to go out and see what they're going to go out there and do. You know what I mean? Because like you said, Justice leaned in a little bit. He's kind of the daredevil hardcore type lately, but the guy has been around for a long time and has wrestled everybody. I'm pretty sure he's wrestled Roman Reigns before in his days. So it's like he can work a lot of different wrestling styles. And then you put him with the guy.
He'll tell you. He wrestled Roman Reigns.
I know. I want to make sure I put it in there. And then you got a guy like Prize, who, like you said, is just really just humming on a different pace right now of independent wrestling talent and just what he can do in the ring. So just to see what these two are going to come up with, I think is really exciting for me. You know what I mean? I just can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
There doesn't need to be any stakes. You know what I mean, for that one, in my opinion.
Well, there's a lot of that on this show, and it's just good wrestling. And I talked about that, kind of coming out of Absolution, and when we were leaving Triller and all that stuff, we had kind of an internal meeting, and one of the things that I said, and it kind of started with the reformat of J-Lit and stuff like that, but I really wanted to put a focus on in-ring stuff. We lean so much on our kind of universe of storytelling and things like that, and I think people do like that. We do offer that, more than maybe some, the majority of independent wrestling right now. But the one thing that I wanted to, kind of add on to that was a focus more on just also great in-ring matches, because at the end of the day, we're doing this maybe once a month, sometimes twice a month. But if we can kind of up that caliber of what you're going to see in ring, I think that, just having that quality, and, not only talking about like on a national independent level, like that's kind of a different conversation. My main focus is I want to be, the marquee, thing in Ohio, and certainly the marquee thing in Northeast Ohio. So I certainly, I want people to know that, there's a certain standard of performance, what you're going to see at AIW. And, not to say that it lacked by any means, but, we did kind of, do a little, I think, a little too much opportunity giving, is as bad as that sounds, to some of our students that maybe weren't prepared or ready for some of the opportunities. And it did affect the overall quality of the show. And, some of them also didn't appreciate or rise to the occasion of the opportunity. You know what I mean? If somebody went out there and they didn't do great, but they were appreciative, they tried, they did everything they could to get people through the door. That's one thing, right? Like they're trying to add, they're trying to kind of make up for that, right? But like when we're doing that and it was not reciprocal on their end at all, and they could care less about the opportunity, and they could care less if anybody comes to watch them or not. You know what I mean? Like me as a business owner, like I have to say, like, okay, like I have to put I have to get back to what I know works, and that is good wrestling. You know what I mean? So I'm going to bring in better wrestlers, and I'm going to focus more on the quality of content that I'm going to produce. It's just kind of, we were focusing too much on the school, and, some people excelled, and others did not.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those dominoes start to fall, you know what I mean? And some stay up and some fall down. And, you start kind of weeding things out there. And, we had an internal meeting, and it was, who are our guys that we know are going to, appreciate it, push it forward, try hard, do everything they can to promote, you know what I mean? And who are the guys that act like they're too cool to, be there, who are barely even in the business, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you got to weed those kind of students out, and, then you have a crop that you can rely on, that you feel you can rely on as a promoter, as a booker, and then you start bringing in these kind of outside talents and, working on upping the show quality and making these unique matches like John Wayne Murdoch and Isaiah Broner. You know what I mean? Like, that's another one that's like super unique. Like, things like that are going to take precedent over what we were doing maybe more in, 2023, which was like really trying to add these kind of secondary shows and, get people reps. And, when you're putting all this money on the line to get people reps, and it's not, they don't care. You have to make a decision as a business owner to do what's best to make the business survive. So we're leaning more into quality content, and focusing so much more on the in-ring product, as opposed to, what we were doing in, 2022, 2023, which was trying to get these kind of rep development type things going on.
Well, I think there's kind of almost two ways to go from that statement, too. And I don't want to gloss over John Wayne Murdoch versus Broner, because I think that is an incredible match that I think I can't wait for. But I think it's a place somewhere like you'd really only see at AIW with these kind of two different styles. But kind of what you're saying with, giving opportunities and kind of letting that, see what people can do. I think you're seeing that develop in a match in a guy like Tyson Riggs. You got Tyson Riggs versus Wes Barkley for the Intense Championship. You see a guy like Tyson who got some opportunities. Every opportunity they got felt like he made more and added on every time we saw him. He went from being a guy that, you got the touch, that would hit, and people would be like, oh, okay, here we go, to now that song hits and people are fired up. He's got some people in the crowd backing him. He's got some mojo going forward, and now you look at a match, he gets a title shot.
I think he's a perfect example of a guy that was misunderstood, in almost guilty by association in the grouping of all of these people, and the negative attitudes breed more negative attitudes. And, he just kept coming and working hard and being the first one there and doing ring crew. And, if he's not booked, he's asking where he can help and what he can do and not complaining. And, he's just always, he wants to be there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's people that want to be there, and there's people that think they're, you know what I mean? There's people that, think they should be there. There's a difference, and there's people that want to be there, and there's people that think they should already be there. And there's a difference, and people think that nobody pays attention to that, but everybody pays attention to that. And Tyson Riggs is a perfect example of somebody that maybe was guilty by association, in 2022, 2023, and really has just broken away from the pack in 2024, and has just, this is a guy that still is barely missing a training session. You know what I mean? He's been training for years. He's going every week. This is a guy that wants to be there. He doesn't expect to be there. He wants to be there, and he's showing it through his hard work. And, he's maybe not a guy that's, bringing in, 50 fans, but he's going out there and he's improving and he's connecting with the regular fans. And, he's bringing, he has a support system too. His dad is a great supporter of AIW.
Yeah, he's always there. I always see him.
But he's just proof that, if you just keep coming and you keep working hard and you keep doing what's asked of you, you know what I mean? Opportunity is going to eventually come. And I think, he's a perfect example of that,
Right.
I think that, other people should maybe take a look at, he was given, he was virtually, he was thrown to the wolves and he just kept coming back. You know what I mean? And it's admirable. And he not only earned the respect of the bookers and, the decision makers, but, he earned the respect of the boys in the back. And that's, that is the most difficult thing to do is, not your fellow students, but like the actual wrestlers. You know what I mean? There's kind of a difference, when you earn that respect of like the kind of, the real wrestlers, so to speak. And he's one of those guys that's earned it. You know what I mean? He's earned it every step of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, some people could, you could sit here and say maybe foregone conclusion that Wes, going to retain, but a guy like Tyson Riggs just keeps coming back and keeps coming back. I think this is going to be a good challenge for Wes. I think it's going to do a lot for Tyson Riggins, but I think it could do a lot for Wes as well. Against a guy who just doesn't seem to give up.
Momentum is a funny thing in sports. Yeah. Like momentum can change a lot of things. Wes is beloved, but, who knows where that crowd's going to be on Saturday night? Who are they going to be with,
Right.
Momentum is a funny thing, and momentum can affect decisions and affect things that happen. You just never know. It's certainly going to be interesting. In the ascent of Tyson Riggs, I think, should be studied by everybody at the AW Academy. Because, if you, like, it's just, I see it every time I go. People just think I fucking don't pay attention to nothing. And they think that, like, I'm, they're smarter than me or whatever. It's kind of silly, but these students just think you don't pay attention, and it's just like I pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And Tyson Riggs getting a title shot is proof of that, because that kid is fucking outworking everybody.
Big Riggins, dude. Like I said, I didn't want to gloss over too John Wayne Murdoch versus Broner too, because that, in my opinion, is a dream match. Big fan of John Wayne Murdoch. Love that guy. I think he can do a lot of different styles, more than just the death match kind of style. And we saw that with him versus Tom. I thought they had a great match, especially with what they were able to do. But him versus Broner, everybody knows I'm a big Isaiah Broner guy. It's my dude. I'm very excited to see these two kind of titans go at it. Two different styles, but I'm very excited for that one as well.
Yeah, and John Wayne Murdoch, that's another one. Is we're kind of putting him in these unique situations that maybe you don't see him do in some of his regular stops, and that's what I like to do is take these guys and kind of put them in new scenarios and new situations. Him and Kaplan was one of my favorite matches of the year. It was great. Him and Tom was great. And I have no doubt him and Broner is going to be great. It's just, you're not going to see a lot of these matchups anywhere else but AIW. And that's, that's what I mean. Like, we're kind of like, we've always kind of been that melting pot indie, and we got a little bit away from it, focusing more on, the reps of the students and things like that. And, I'm not saying that we're not going to do that, but I'm saying we have to focus on, what brought us to the dance, and it's things like that. And, if we're going to make it, to that 20th anniversary show, it's going to be putting on more shit like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's gonna be an excellent one. I can't wait. Speaking to the tag side of things, we got a couple tag matches. We got a 4-way tag that I'm really jazzed for. We got Money Shot coming in versus newly formed tag team Trey Lamar and Tyler Jordan against To Infinity and Beyond versus the Bang and Matthews, formerly the Bang Bros. That's a 4-way tag of just woo. That's That's going to be
gonna see. It's a murderer's row, and then we're going to see how Trey and Tyler can do as a team. They made a statement in Hell on Earth. Kind of stating, this is where they're going to be in the tag division in AIW going forward. So we're going to see. We're going to see how they do and what they can do.
Yeah, talk about throwing them in to the deep end, right away. You got Money Shot, a tag team who up until this one of the last times had never even been pinned in AIW. To Infinity and Beyond and Colin and Cheech, the Triple Crown, I think we've called them one of the greatest tag teams AIW's ever seen. And then you got guys like Bang and Matthews who have ascended the ranks extremely quickly with their incredible ability in the ring and as a tag unit. Those 3 tags, if it was one of my first my first tag match and I had to go 4-way against those 3, I'd be like, man, are we making the right choice here? That's gonna be rough.
I think Money Shot is just talk about another miss by this WWE program, is Money Shot. I think they are just primed for a television wrestling company. I know they're bad guys, but I'm just huge fans of what they do, and I think they're great at what they do. I think they just have what so many people lack in wrestling today, and it's just presence and presentation, and they look the part, they play the part, they do the part well. They don't do anything outside of their realm of capabilities. I think I think they're great, and they have a well-oiled presentation. Colin and Cheech are, the gold standard of independent tag team wrestling. I don't think there's anybody better.
Yeah.
I've gone on record a zillion times to say that. I still stand by that. The fact that, they're not somebody somewhere or, hired as producers and coaches somewhere, at the very least is just, a travesty to the world of wrestling, to be honest. And then, Bang and Matthews, I think they are the team of now. You know what I mean? They are going to be the team of 2025, no doubt. I think these guys are everywhere and extremely talented. The odd people out are Trey Lamar and Tyler Jordan, because we've never seen them team before, so you can't really comment on what they're going to do. Individually, both super athletic, both tons of potential. Have no idea what they'll be like as a team, though.
Yeah.
They are in there with a literal murderer's row of tag team wrestling.
Right. That's what I said. I'm like, man, that's your first tag match? Jeez, Thorne. What did they do? How'd they piss you off throwing him in there with these 3 tags? Jeez Louise. And then staying in the realm of tag team, we got a tag title match. We got PME taking on Latino's Most Wanted. Another tag that has come in, same as Bang and Matthews, kind of came in from that Chicago kind of area and that carload, and it have just every match they're in, every show they're on, just seemed to blow everybody away. Just incredible talent, and I would think for sure one of PME's toughest tests in AIW so far. I
think this is the, outside of Money Shot, this is going to be a huge test for PME. Latino's Most Wanted, they want it. They want some acclaim.
Hungry guys, for sure.
They're very hungry for it. Extremely talented. Trying to get on the radar, right? Like Bang and Matthews are by all accounts, Chicago wrestling right now. Everybody knows they are the Chicago guys. Latinos Most Wanted, they want to be in that same conversation. They want to put Chicago on the map. They want to put themselves on the map. They want people talking about them. And PME, are certainly a big get if you can pin them. PME is not just the AIW PME anymore. PME is everywhere and anywhere these days, and probably going to many more places in 2025. They are an elite tag team. They have really become the tag team in the Midwest, and certainly I think Latinos Most Wanted would love nothing more than to pin them and get some gold around their waists and get some much wanted and craved credibility to keep building their names and heading into 2025. I mean, this is I know it's the end of the year, but a lot of people are looking at this as like this is the start of the year. You know what I mean? Like this is how you end it is how you're starting it and how you're kind of setting the precedent for 2025. And I think both of these teams, they want to be the flag bearers for Midwest Tag Team Wrestling, no doubt. Also in that conversation, Bang and Matthews, of course. So it's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely just think they're looking to come in and kind of shake up the AIW tag division for sure, and I'm excited to see what's going forward in the division. Going forward, we got a big one. In my opinion, this is going to be a great match. Filthy Tom Lawler versus Sam Hardway Holloway. Two big guys, and I'm going to get in there and mix it up. I'm excited for this one. I love Tom Lawler.
Yeah, I mean, this is just another one of those big kind of marquee matches. Let's just put a great match out there in the ring and see what happens. I mean, again, no stakes, no story, nothing else to it than, taking, two of, AIW's most recognizable and notable guys and putting them out there.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. There's, like you said, not too much to be said about this one. Just two big boys going out there and getting after it. Quite the run. Both of them coming off, some big matches. Filthy versus John Wayne at Hell on Earth, and then you had Big Sam versus Dijak. Both coming off some big matches. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this one.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think I like I said, I think this is a really great wrestling card. There's just a ton of great stuff on this show.
Yeah, going forward too, we got a classic AIW 4-way scramble. We got Dex Royal coming back from injury. A lot of people thought maybe we weren't ever going to see him back. Maybe they kind of wrote him off after that. It was a very gruesome injury. Then we got Katie Arquette with Derek Dillinger, Shelby Wilder, and Paul London. I mean, that's a 4-way of who's who there in AIW. Paul London coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this one. Huge fan of Dex Royal. Excited to see how he rebounds from the injury. I think it's going to be his first match back, to be honest. Derek Dillinger, another one, trying to find that footing. You know what I mean? Just trying to kind of, him and Katie were kind of working their way, maybe into the tag division. He was kind of floating between these worlds. Katie Arquette now out, for a considerable amount of time. So he's got to be, refocus solely on, his singles career here.
Yeah, but she got a broken foot or something, right?
Yeah, she broke something, and she's going to be out for a while. Yeah. And I can't think of it off the top of my head, so I'm not going to speculate. But I know that there's a broken bone somewhere within her body. Mm-hmm. And she's out for several months. So Derek's going to have to kind of get back on the horse here and try to reestablish himself as a singles threat in AIW. Shelby Wilder is, still trying to find his way. I think he's, found a bit of a connection with the AIW fans.
Definitely.
But has not really found that way to win yet, so certainly this would be a huge win for him. And, Paul London, I mean, it's Paul London. You know what I mean? You never know what the fuck's going to happen.
The cosmic cactus, dude.
You never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, this one could be the best match of the night. This one could be the weirdest match of the night. You just don't know where things are going to go when Paul London is in the mix.
Absolutely. It's certainly a tough one for Shelby, who I think is a hungry guy. But like you've said, it keeps finding himself in there with incredible competitors. You see a guy like Dex Royal coming back from injury, so he's going to look to really, do as much as he can to kind of remind everyone what kind of path he was on before that injury, because I mean that guy had a rocket strapped to him prior to that injury. Right. A guy like Derek Dillinger, who's held titles in this company, is a genuine threat at any given moment in AIW. And then you got a guy like Paul London, the Cosmic Cactus, who knows what could happen. So Shelby definitely hungry guy, but he's finds himself in a tough position. But if he could sneak that win out, could really keep that momentum that he has with the fans, kind of translating that into actual in-ring wins. Because the fans can love you, but if you keep losing, it's tough considerably. But that is a four-way that I'm very excited for.
Paul London is like, I'm a very plain eater, but I would imagine it's like if you're like making like, you're cooking something and you decide like you're gonna put some kind of like spicy pepper into it,
spice it up,
and like sometimes it makes it really taste great, and sometimes it's just like, whoa, like what happened here? You know what I mean? Like. I think that's the best way to describe 2024 Paul London. Like, it could be really great, or it could get like really like, what is going on? So and that's what I like. You know what I mean? Because me as a booker, as a promoter, everyone thinks like everything is like so intricately written out. Like everyone always emails like, I'd love to join the writing team. Like there is no fucking writing team, dude. I'm putting some names up on a board and I'm saying, I want to watch what you guys come up with. You know what I mean? I want to watch what happens here. And
those meetings are very interesting for sure.
That's why I'm throwing Paul London into the stew here, and I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be a great one. And then we have our main event, the Terror Cage, Dominic Garrini, challenger, facing the absolute champion Chuck Stone in a cage of terror that hasn't been discussed much more than our steel cage plus some other fuckery, I believe is the word, pardon my French, sorry for swearing, but it's gonna be an interesting main event, I believe.
So this is not going to be a traditional cage match. I don't want to spoil too much of it,
right?
In the events that we are trying to we're trying to create something very unique on Saturday night, and I don't want to overhype it in the event that, push comes to shove, it doesn't all come together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm fairly confident.
Because there is an ultimate, but it is a possibility that the building could possibly nix a few things. So that's why we don't want to really say too much too, because some things may be out of our control possibly, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're just we're walking into it. You know what I mean, like with a couple audibles in place here.
Yeah.
There is going to be a cage. There's going to be a ring. There's going to be some other things to your surprise, and we're going to leave it at that. We want people to. I think some people know what to expect. Some people are not gonna know what the fuck we're building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting. I know that this was an idea that was drawn up on a whiteboard in Mike Eckenberg's backyard at his birthday party.
Some of us were drunk. I won't say all of us, but some of us were.
And we're going to see what happens.
I can't wait to see it come to fruition.
I've seen videos and I've seen photos of things that have been built that are going to attach to the cage. And if all things go well, it should be a pretty cool Saturday night.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, I mean, if you are an AIW fan, if you're an AIW regular, you're on the fence about this one. I mean, if the card we just ran down isn't enough for you, which I think is one of the best independent wrestling cards I've ever heard, this match alone, if you are an AIW regular, you're going to want to say that you were in the building for this match, because I believe it is going to be quite the spectacle.
Yeah. Spectacle is a great word to describe it. I also want to remind everybody you'll be entering the building at your own risk.
There will be signs posted.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to overhype it. You know what I mean? I know that's the point of this podcast, is to overhype and promote.
Yep.
But I don't want to overhype it, because, you know, it is our first time trying something at this capacity and this kind of ambitious. And, you know, we just got to see what happens on Saturday night. I think it's going to be great. I think it's visually, you know, when people walk in, they're going to see some of it, you know, first thing when you arrive at the venue on Saturday. You're going to see a different setup than usual. And I don't want to spoil it. You know what I mean? I want people to come in kind of genuinely reacting to it. But some of it is going to, you know, be set up in advance. So you're going to see some of it. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see. You know what I mean? Pedro's been hard at work welding and building things in his garage for a month. So we're going to see what sort of things he's come up with. If people would like to bring some weapons within reason, they can. On Saturday, you know, we're not going to really put that out there too much other than on this podcast, but you can bring some things if you wish. Yeah, I'm sure it will be used. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something. Yeah, you know, and like
a spectacle for sure, I believe.
It's going to be a spectacle for sure. I don't want to overhype it or overpromise it or put, you know, big expectations on the shoulders of Dominic Garrini and Chuck Stone. But I think that there's, you know, they're walking in with a certain level of fear Saturday.
I mean, honestly, we should almost even get into it a little bit, because, you know, a surveillance video was released recently, and, you know, Chuck and Eric attacked Dom at the training center, and as of the last we saw it, they stuffed Dom into the bed of a truck. So, I mean, I don't even know where Dom is. I haven't even talked to him for a day or two. I don't even know where the guy is.
That's very true. I mean, I think we're going to see more of that, you know, somewhere along the way this week before we get to Saturday. But yeah, fuck. I mean,
so yeah,
you know, you don't want to say too much, because, you know,
sure.
I know, you know, what was drawn. We were all there when things were being drawn up. You know, blueprints were being drawn up. So I don't know.
I can't wait. And like I said, I've said it before, without saying too much, if you are an AIW fan, get your ass to the building on Saturday, because it's going to be a fucking spectacle. That's all I can say.
You know, I haven't heard from Pedro in about 3 weeks, so, you know, I don't know what he's cooking up in his, you know,
out there in the garage.
In his garage out there.
With that being said, I think we should maybe throw it to questions. We took some questions, as always. If you want to join our Discord, get on the Patreon, patreon.com/AI Wrestling. Join the Patreon for as little as $5. You can get in our Discord, ask us questions. Wrestlers jump in there all the time, just kind of throwing stuff around. So we take some questions from there. We answer them here on the pod. Hercules wants to know, still a few months away, but anything looking forward to for the 20th anniversary show? Is there anything you want to talk about yet for that, or are we still kind of cooking on that one?
Yeah, I don't have anything. Everyone is looking at it like asking me what the card is and all this stuff. What are we going to do if it's the last show? Are we going to do is it going to be like a tribute card? I have nothing planned. You know what I mean? I looked at the calendar. I looked at the year. Initially, that was going to be the gauntlet for the gold date, and I realized 2 days from then or whatever it is, somewhere within that week, would be 20 years to the day of AIW. AIW's first show in 2005, and I looked and I said, well, maybe we should bump Gauntlet up, and do it in April, and then make this just a big 20th anniversary show. I thought it was just, good marketing, to be honest. I haven't put thought into really what's going to happen on it or any of that. I just hope that we could sell it out and get a big crowd. That's a brand new venue opening 2 weeks prior to that. So it's going to be, we haven't even been inside it because they're still building it. But it's, by all accounts, going to be, fucking immaculate in there. So those tickets are on sale. Let's sell that fucking bad boy out. Let's, here's the thing, is they're coming to see those people. The venue is coming to observe at the Roxy on January 17th. So we got to fucking pack the Roxy on January 17th to kind of show them that we're fucking serious business, for May. So we got to pack January 17th before we get to May 16th is what I'm trying to say here. So let's fucking pack the fucking Roxy on January 17th first and foremost. And, if we could show them what the AIW crowd is like and, what we're capable of, I think not only, can we make it to that 20th anniversary show, but there's potential for a great future in the Cleveland area with these two possible new venue partners in the Roxy and in the Globe Iron. That's really the main goal of 2025, and I think that's what needs to be stressed to the AIW fan base is, we gotta show out for these new venue partners, just like we did at the Temple and we impressed and, all that stuff. We got to show out here. It's way lower capacity, so it should be quicker or easier to sell them out. They only put 400 tickets on sale for the 20th anniversary show as of now. So I would, I think that they'll be able to add more, but we got to pack 400 into the Roxy on January 17th and show them,
what they're up against.
You guys could probably fit more in your place. Your place is supposed to be bigger. So, you know what I mean? It's right now it's just all about impressing these venues. And that's the main goal, and then we're also going to Youngstown again in February. Not to skip over that, but that's a brand new venue. And if we do well there, we can do, one or two a year out in Youngstown again, and it's in a cool area right in downtown Youngstown, at Penguin City Brewing. So, there's a lot of good potential for 2025, but again, we need that momentum to come in our favor at the right time.
Yeah. Real quick, too, bears worth mentioning, Joe Hersky wanted everyone to know, too, for that 20th anniversary show, if you buy your tickets online and you have them shipped to your house, they will send you an actual physical copy of a ticket. I know, so that just want to mention that for the 20th anniversary show. Could be kind of a cool little collectible. Yeah. And then also the February show, tickets on sale for that. Bringing Heath back in. Love that guy. And Chavo, too. I mean, Chavo and Heath on the same card. I mean, that is going to be out of control. It's at a brewery too. We know how AIW fans do at breweries, so that I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cheap hotels around the area and things like that. Toy Hio's going on earlier in the day.
Toy Hi-ho!
So you can make it a day in the Youngstown area. Come on out, party. And then I'm sure we'll probably wind up at Joey Vincent Martini. Also, his family owns a bar real close to Penguin City Brewing, so we'll probably venture over to there after the show. So it should be a fucking awesome day in the Youngstown area on February 8th. But, we got to pack it. And, there's going to be a big gap from February 8th to the end of March with no AIW shows. So, if people are worrying about, the scheduling, we won't have a show after February 8th for quite some time.
I think I'm definitely going to do a hotel out there because that's the day after my wife's birthday. So we'll be out there. I'm going to drag her along to that show again and make her celebrate her birthday at AIW again. So thank you. That's my wife.
Harley won some money last time. You guys won some money last time.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, we were in. Was it Youngstown again last year? It was, wasn't it?
Last year, maybe 2 years ago.
2 year, whatever. But it was Youngstown, though, I think, because we went to like a casino.
It was Youngstown. Yeah.
Harley wants to know, I think we kind of covered this a little bit, favorite moments of the year. That one's kind of tough for AIW, and there's just so many, you know what I mean? I almost would need a list of the shows just because I feel like every show there's just so many great things that goes on.
Just off the top of my head, pulling off the Jeff Jarrett thing was awesome.
Yeah.
That was like months of work of, kind of getting that together and actually pulling it off and, seeing it through and getting Nathan Zagura a match and all that stuff. Like, I think that was great. SummerSlam weekend, I think, as a whole was just fucking awesome. Slammed on 6th. We still got to drop a commentary track on it. We have it all edited. Only one match was lost. Katie Arquette versus Jocelyn Navarro. That match was lost just based on something wrong with the with the memory cards.
Yeah, it's on the camera broke.
Yeah, something happened. But other than that, like, there's some clips of it. I think Chase is going to maybe make a clip package of that match, what he has. But there's the complete match. Something happened. Mm-hmm. But we got to drop a commentary track on what we have. Slammed on 6 was like one of the great moments, I think, of the year, for sure. Shout out to Steve Guy, which, also Steve Guy will be finishing up with AIW this Saturday. Has chosen to not renew his AIW contract. Wants to, kind of explore some other things that he wants to work on. So he's gonna step away from AIW in 2025. So Saturday will be his final AIW ring announcing commitment. So everybody make sure you come out and show him a warm farewell this Saturday night. But Steve was the driving force in getting that Slammed on 6th thing together. So that was one of the great kind of moments, I think, of 2024 for sure. I mean, there's a lot of cool things that happened. But
I wanted to mention too real quick with the Steve thing. Is first and foremost with the Steve thing, especially for me, just because I sound like a broken record when I say this, but I haven't been working for the company too long, and I've only been, coming for, under a decade. So for me, Steve has always been the ring announcer. It's, AIW and Steve Guy go hand in hand with me. I've seen, Pedro do it plenty of times, so I've seen some people fill in for him here and there, whatever, but Steve is essentially the ring announcer to me, and it's going to be very weird, without him there. So I wish him the best and appreciate all he did. But yeah, as far as moments of the year, I really feel like it's hard to top the SummerSlam weekend. Just everything we did, working with the other company, working with GCW, doing Slammed on 6, the 3-4 shows, whatever we did in those 2 days, and then capping it off, going to SummerSlam in that suite and whatever, with everyone from AIW and Patty, and it was just that to me would be hard to top for me.
Yeah, I think it was, and it was also just great for the city, great, all around. It was great that, we were able to do 2 events in 3 days, and, both did so well, and, others didn't do so well, and, that was reassuring kind of to, the crew and everybody, when we're looking out and there's, like 1,500 people at Slammed on 6 or some crazy number, you know what I mean? There's just
that
people as far as you could see, and even, our Against the World show, had, over 500 people, I believe. So, at, regular ticket prices, and, just a lot of, there's been a lot of great moments in 2024, and those are probably maybe far too, just recent memory, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I think that they were, all, it's been a good year. It's been a kind of growing year. It's been a tumultuous year for different reasons, but, I think SummerSlam weekend and the Jeff Jarrett thing, with Nathan Zagura getting the match, are the 2 that really kind of stand out to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Harley also kind of asked, was there anything that you wanted to do that didn't really come to fruition in 2025? I know that one's usually a kind of tough one for us, because anything you don't ever get to do is still maybe kind of in the wheelhouse. You probably don't want to spoil it, maybe still try to do it in 2025.
Well, I think you meant in 2024, but...
oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me.
It's just the Halloween show not happening, you know what I mean? Having to kind of take that one off the board. We all really we're really trying to find a way to make that happen, and it just didn't happen. And there's just other things that, you want to do, and it just doesn't come together. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted to do more, like I said earlier, we wanted to do more of these kind of secondary bar show types things, and it just, it didn't come together. We had a really, really crazy opportunity that looked like it was all but a done deal that just vanished overnight. That was really disappointing. But, other than that, it's really just maintaining head above water always. There's things, what I want to do and what I don't want to do is kind of like an irrelevant thing as far as my kind of business, tunnel vision, so to speak. Yeah. There's a lot of things I want to do, but if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, or we can't do it, or whatever, but I think the main thing that I wanted to do that we're really doing heading into next year is we're trying to get organized. You know what I mean? We already have tickets on sale for our May event, like we have tickets on sale for December, January, February, May, 4 shows already right now. And then really quick, you're going to get tickets on sale for March and April. You know what I mean? So, like, we're just getting more organized and just trying to get things to where, it's less, less last minute, just trying to get the information out there to people. We're still not great at it. But just trying to get better at that, trying to get better. We had strayed away from a lot of the kind of old school promotional tactics, flyering, things like that. But, I got some flyers for Youngstown and the 20th anniversary show. Raw's coming in February. So, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just trying to have, that vision, for the future of, continuing to be organized. Trying to build out this YouTube subscription thing. We certainly have to improve just overall on our digital media and, just the video aspect of everything and getting more content creation out there. It's just got to be one of those things to where we need, not only Chase to get more engaged, but other people within the team to get more engaged and get things together, produced out there, and not like we kind of witnessed it, the last month, and it's holidays and things like that. But
yeah,
it's like everybody disengages, and it's just it's hard to maintain our momentum when it's just like I'm trying to grab 10 different people who do 10 different things. You know what I mean? So it's like there's things got to get better with that. But, as far as things that I wanted to do that we didn't do, it's really none of that. It's more just we started laying the groundwork for a lot of what I want to do, which is, more of that content creation, more of that stuff that you're going to see on Patreon and our YouTube subscription. You're going to see, more interviews, more, sit down things, more just overall content creation, things like that, trying to build our little universe and create more content for everybody that follows AIW and really kind of focus on our base as opposed to, this trying to, pull people from every direction and fans. Like we really want to kind of cultivate our fan content for our fan base and, hopefully grow it out from there and keep bringing people in and building it up. And, that's part of the, trying to focus more on, the better quality in the ring and things like that. So it's a long answer for like not really didn't do anything that we didn't do yet, but just laying the groundwork for a lot of things in the future. And, hopefully, if these things pick up and we can find, more revenue streams and more things that take pressure off, it just makes everything a little easier, like walking away from Triller was difficult, but it was something we had to do. There was a zillion different reasons for it, but it's scary when you walk away from, their reach, their money, their everything, we're not going to get that on our YouTube. So it's going to take a long time to build up our viewership. We'll probably never get the same viewership, to be perfectly honest, but, to get a comparable check, we have to find different ways to make that money back. So, it's scary, it's difficult, it's exciting, but ultimately, like, I just need more of kind of the AIW internal crew to get more engaged and people that want to participate and want to be there and like want to help grow it and like not treat it so much like it's a chore to show up and participate in AIW. That's the big thing, is trying to like kind of now weed all that stuff out, like to go back to the Tyson Riggs conversation that we had earlier,
Yeah.
Just weeding out, like, the same thing goes for like, non-wrestlers that are around. There's people that like want to be there, and there's people that like act like they should be there, and like there's people that treat it like it's a chore to show up, and there's people that like enjoy it. So it's just there's a lot of different things that I have to maneuver and try to figure out, and I think that some of that has kind of stalled or stunted the growth of AIW in 2024, and I hope that getting more organized and all this stuff will kind of expedite our growth in 2025, and not only hopefully can we get to that 20th anniversary show, but we can grow far beyond it. But like I said, I only have a target on that one date right now. That is my laser focus goal right now.
Fair enough. I think I feel confident after this show and then going into this show that everyone's kind of going to get back on track and really feel, motivated. And I mean, with a card like this in a show, I think everyone's going to knock it out of the park. I can't wait. I'm an optimistic guy, though, so we'll see. Anything else you want to get to before we get out of here?
No, I mean, hopefully we could just sell the rest of these tickets for Saturday and leave kind of Akron on a very high note. Like I said, we're not going to be back there until I think April, so it's going to be quite a while before we're back. I want to pack that place on Saturday. There's no, at the end of the day, I can talk about all these things, YouTube and all this stuff, but wrestling is a live event business. It is a ticket business. Tickets are the lifeblood of all of it. So we need people to show up live and in person to support these events. That's how we're gonna always be able to continue to do them. So it's not like we have this big pot of gold somewhere. So
yeah,
we need people to show up and buy tickets, and if you show up and buy tickets, we can continue to, book people, pay people, buy flights and hotels, and book venues, and keep the train rolling. It's just it's always just about keeping the head above water, and it was nice to kind of take that long break after J-Lit, and then we did Hell on Earth, and it seemed like everyone was just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if they wanted to be back. Like maybe it was too long of a break. So I'm hopeful that like coming out of the holidays and then we have like more of a regular schedule, people can like lock in again. Like
really engage.
It's tough. You know what I mean? Like it's the management of personalities and people and just everything to try to keep the train on the tracks here is difficult. I gotta go send a check to the IRS today, just stuff like that, like gotta pay the quarterly taxes for the company, so just stuff like that is just it's a lot to try to remember and do, and I'm just hopeful that we can see some growth in the crowds, and growth in the crowds means just kind of growth in that rainy day fund a little bit, to where we can keep building things up and moving closer to that target of May 16th, and it's just going to impact all the decisions, coming out of that. Like these next 5 shows need to do well. And then, again, you have the Roxy. We need to impress them. We got to impress the Globe Iron. These are new potential partnerships that, could be paramount for AIW to have home bases going forward in Northeast Ohio. These are, big opportunities for us. Not only do we have one, but we have 2 potential great partnerships available in 2025. And then again with Penguin City Brewing, if that does well, I'm sure they would want us to do more than one a year, in the Youngstown area. So right now there's just kind of it's like spinning plates. There's a lot of different things and a lot of different stuff going on, and we needed all the work. You can't just have one thing work and two things go bad. You needed all the work, and everything needs to go right. But I think we can do it. It's just a matter of just getting everybody motivated to like fucking come out and get engaged to support this company again.
Nothing like a good cage match of terror to get everyone out and motivated on the same page. Am I right?
I hope. I mean, that's going to be a spectacle one way or the other. No matter what shows up into that, whatever's built on Saturday, one way or the other is going to be a spectacle of some sort.
Hell yeah.
I'm confident in that. I'm not saying anything more of what the plan is, like nothing else. I want everybody to be genuinely shocked, or not even shocked, just to react for the first time when they walk into the venue on Saturday.
Hell yeah. Well, tickets still available. Eventbrite.com. Get your tickets. Let's pack the house. Let's send Steve Guy off with one final packed house for him. And we'll see everybody this Saturday. For myself, for AIW, for John Thorne, for Steve Guy, for everybody. We'll see you this Saturday. Thanks.